unique.
I just really want to see how they are going to be piloting this mashup. BIGETRON ALPHA, they have given us one heck of a show, and right now giving us even a surprise with a Moreno playing onto this mashup. How's that gonna look like as they go up against Team Liquid Indonesia? Very front heavy, and they are very dive heavy as well. Who's gonna be the one to come up with this game, as this game goes to match point for TLID?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are just joining us right now, this is our third match of the first day of the SPS Challenge Finals. Team Liquid ID currently 1 game up against BIGETRON ALPHA, who have decided to respond with a very interesting draft for game number 2.
Yeah, interesting, 100%. They get Badang and Masha in the first phase, paired up with a Granger. They rounded out their draft with an Akai and Valentina. The Akai going into the jungle. And now TLID, this is a little bit more familiar with a lineup that we're more familiar with the current meta game, with what we saw back in the M6 World Championship as well, with the cheeky glue pick coming up. I feel like that glue actually sort of might have messed up a lot of the plans BIGETRON wanted to do with their really heavy lineup.
Moreno has the flicker very early here. A good collapse by Witty and Fabian to immediately threaten the mid lane. Team Liquid, they want to fight this game. They've got 4 Impure Rages, but the Fist Break catches 2. Your head skill flickers forward. Yin Yang reaction bursts down Super Ken. This is why Pandas are endangered, as first blood goes to Team Liquid. Moreno, no flicker anymore. That was already spent earlier. Witty gets another kill.
Okay, trades all around. 2-1 is the lead for Team Liquid ID. The Fabian was still able to get chased down by Luke, but Super Ken already started to feel a bit of a struggle, knowing now that Team Liquid ID are going to be aggressive even though they're up against a tanky jungler. I think that's also supplemented by the fact that they know that they're up against a Badang rope. They were able to combo with the Badang, but at that point, they didn't have the follow-up they needed just yet. The damage isn't just quite there. It is still very early.
Yeah, Light actually got a great Fist Break, but they have no early game damage. Like we mentioned, right? Aran just splits. He gets caught by everything, doesn't really care, just walks out, and Team Liquid gets a free turtle. This is why this draft confused us so much.
Yeah, with a melee heavy focus.
Oh, diversion?
Oh, okay.
Are they gonna look for Super Ken? 3 members of BIGETRON here, so Liquid won't get anything there, but the threat still exists.
Yeah, they should just back off. So this what makes the glue pick even better, because in hindsight now, it's like, well, yeah, that was like the best pick you could go for. You're up against so much melee that wants to get close. In that last one, the moment we saw the split by Iran, you see BIGETRON ALPHA go, yeah, no, I'm head out of here. I'm not going to commit anything against that glue in a split.
They just have no damage anymore. I don't know why they didn't go like Fair Miss or Vex as their last pick. Like, Valentina, what are you really going to prioritize here?
Yeah.
Team Liquid still going to be contesting. At least the Litho goes over the Super Ken, but you can see just how little control BIGETRON has already.
Okay, these are still trying to make it.
Heavy spin catches Aran, but again, not enough damage. Way of the Dragon stops one more. Aran just splits out of there. Yin Yang reaction catches 3, but they stun Witty, and again, no damage. This is a problem. Diversion with 2 members into the backline. Eman does win a 1v1 against Aaron, but now the diversion comes in. Aran is finally picked off. And looks like BIGETRON does get a victory here.
Yeah, it felt like a war of attrition that BIGETRON started, but didn't start well for them. But then in the long run, it still worked out. And heck, I think Eman also deserves so much praise. The fact that the win up top is now more devastating because he 1v1 Paris.
3-man dive on top of Fabian in the top lane, and again, not enough damage. This is, again, a huge issue. 3 members diving, ganking, and you can't kill a Suyo. Yeah, there's a problem here.
Yeah, something's going on. Let's see, maybe once it gets to the point where across the board they have at least 3 items on average, we're going to start seeing how problematic this lineup can be for Team Liquid ID. Maybe it might get to the point that they might just get overloaded with a tanky presence, a lot of dive, a lot of crowd control. But then every time I think of that also, now I just cannot get out of my head that there is a glue on the other side.
Yes, and that glue is already zoning out Superkin, so Fabian gets another free turtle. One consolation though for Bigetron is that they actually do have a slight goal lead after their previous fight victory, and Luke has been getting a lot of the kills, which means that this Masha can become one of the main sources of DPS. He has gone Heptasis, so it is indeed Burst Masha, but isn't gonna be enough.
I wonder if in the team fights later we'll just see Luke trying to hunt down either Aaron or
Heavy
Fabian.
spin on Aran again, flickers out, split. Will he be able to survive? Yes, he will, because again, not enough damage.
No.
Jumps off top of the Panda, pulls him back into Fabian. Luke trying to tank as much damage as possible. Moreno coming in for backup. They will trade 1-for-1, but Witty comes in. Fabian gets the shutdown. Another diversion locks down Moreno and forces back to Valentina as Fabian dives behind the tower. Picks him off, double kill to the TLID jungler.
Widdy is able to find Emma, but that is going to be the end of that sequence. Trying to poke down this Cho, but with Fabian there, that's a reset. And from a slower pace, calculated game, we are reminded again of the biggest problem BIGETRON ALPHA had to face in game number 1. TLID just knows how to move so fast, so decisive. It went from a sequence of trying to find picks, positioning around the mid, suddenly exploding into a massive trade up top. To be fair, they were reacting to what BIGETRON ALPHA started, but that reaction was so devastating.
Yeah, like Bigetron, I like that they're being active. I like that they're being aggressive. This is how they were supposed to play in game number 1.
Yeah.
They had the draft to do this. But now in game number 2, they need items, right? Valentina and Granger both need the scale. Masha needs items as well. So you can see that Team Liquid are just escaping these catches every single time.
Emman's staying confident that his Granger can still continue racking up kills with the second item, Sky Piercer. He is 2-0. So we're going to be seeing Emman potentially sacrificing dealing damage in a fight to just stay alive so that he can see the Sky Piercer stacks up. Third turtle of the game. Still looking good for TLID, but remember that's a heavy limiter up against.
Yeah, this time Bigetron are actually in position. Superkin hasn't taken too much. Fist break catches Aran. Split comes out. Witty looking for a way of the dragon. Not able to find it, but Superkin secures the turtle. Hezkiel diversion is the back. Finds Moreno, but doesn't find the angle he needs. Meanwhile, way of the dragon still away used. Luke gonna be caught out and taken down. Killing spree for Fabian as he picks off the Padang. Make that double as Moreno is chased down and the cavalry will not let up on their pressure.
Another strength showed off by Team Liquid ID, just how good they are in trading the fight.
Fabian in the back line! The Usurper not able to find the kill though. Eman just barely escapes, and because of that, he gets the shutdown.
Punished by BIGETRON ALPHA, and now that's the third item for that Granger, that Malefic Roar. Going back though, TLID, they lost that turtle, but they conserved their abilities. Once they saw Luke come in, Luke thought, I'm gonna have a good time with this, you know. At this point in the fight, they probably don't have anything to stop me, but they had all the abilities that they had to be able to stop that Masha, punish Luke's late entry, and turn it around into more kills for themselves. Good turnaround by TLID despite losing the turtle to Super Sakai.
However, even though TLID have been responding quite well so far,
Hiroshiki?
Hiroshiki in a 1v1 survives it! Survives the thunderclap from the Masha dive! How does that even happen?
Oh no! I thought Aaron Shiki was gone, but Luke just could not take him down. That was all the burst the Masha could deal out, but Aaron Shiki with just enough shields, I guess, being made for himself.
This is why Killua is the heir of an assassin family. You can't outburst him right here. And Luke is supposed to be specifically here to burst down the Harif. I really don't know how that Thunderclap did so little damage, but that is a reversal Team Liquid have been looking for. Until now, Aaron has actually been behind Eman in farm, so that's a huge equalizer.
Now TLID, they have a massive lead here. It'll be very risky for BIGETRON ALPHA to go for a full commit, considering that their EXP laner isn't in the right angle for a sandwich or for a surprise gank. So now, BTR, they're gonna have to play it slow, let minion waves flow in, clear those, let your minion waves push out, But then the diversion threat is there, Widdy in the back.
Widdy sent very deep into the jungle. He's going to be looking for a kick
Oh,
here,
he
but
saw
gets
him.
stopped. Thunderclap right there as Supercan is tanking so much damage. Widdy is still able to walk out as the heavy spin is popped defensively. Team Liquid now have control over the Lord Pit. Aran, though, has to use the split. There's still a good number of resources on Bigetron's side.
Wow, that looked like a bait play by TLID. They sent the Cho, and Widdy had confidence that he could escape, and he did. 13,000, no one's letting go. They're going to commit.
Oh, the Thunderclap committed. Aran bursted down by Emma. Mega kill as Luke will trade his own life away.
Kick.
Dragon finds Ken. He gets knocked back right into Yeskiel as Team Liquid hits back even harder with a flicker. Fist break, not going to be enough. The team is not there. Fabian survives. He gets the Lord, and he gets a kill on top of everything. Another diversion comes in. They're gonna send Aaron and Yeskiel into the back, but Eman and Moreno have already left the scene.
Yeah, they had a feeling that that was going to be someone there in one of those two shrubs. Eman actually checked the shrub that Team Liquid ID went into with the diversion, but he checked it before they arrived. He checked the next one, but BIGETRON Alpha weren't also completely healthy, so they couldn't commit that gank. With the head, Yeskiel could not get Eman, but you don't need to. They have the Lord marching in, and BIGETRON Alpha are in a very uncomfortable position right now.
Yeah, Luke just finished his first VOD, so that's gonna be a big spike in damage potential, but you really gotta use it on the right person. And I'm not even sure if it's enough to actually one-shot Aaron at this point. You might have to try and find Yeskiel as another diversion comes in. Supercan gonna be locked down under the tier 2. Lord crashes in. That is the final external tower taken out from the side of Bigetron as Fabian is pushing bot as well. The Lord will finally be cleared up, but the damage is done.
TLID are starting to really run away with this one. The BIGETRON Alpha's dive-focused, melee-focused lineup trying to just supplement the pokes of one hero built the poke from Granger. It's way too risky. TLID just has so many tools to make that lineup struggle.
And they're making them struggle really hard right now. We can see already 5k net worth lead, even though Team Liquid were actually behind in farm initially. Their mid-game team fights have just gone so smoothly. And now the Divine Glaive completed for Aaron as well. So this Harv, if it wasn't hitting hard before, gonna be hitting even harder now.
It's always been the theme of Team Liquid ID. They're known for being very fast. Sure, they usually do win early games, but if it ever gets to the point where they're reliant on a mid-game power spike, they know those timers so well. Around 7 to 10 minutes, they're very comfortable, either as the team leading or as a team trying to crawl back. Even at this point, look, you see Widdy at an angle that is quite aggressive, but it just opens up a possibility if ever BIGETRON Alpha overextend and try to push out through the bottom side of the jungle. Widdy will be there. BIGETRON Alpha has him checked, but with one member there getting information, Team Liquid ID has the advantage here.
Yeah, and you could even see there in that previous interaction where Fabian's just like sniping the orange buff away. There's 4 members of Bigetron there.
Yeah.
And even then, he alone threatens them enough that Superkin has to retreat the buff instead of giving it over to Eman, right? So Liquid is still making their presence known on the map.
Yeah. And they're also making, alongside with what you said, the other best example of TLID forcing out resources from BIGETRON Alpha before the initial fight has started is in the previous Lord. Supercan died there, and they weren't able to properly contest on Lord because he used a heavy spin way earlier in that sequence, and he was just kicked back by Widdy. And with Team Liquid ID now in position, this does not look like the healthiest approach for BIGETRON Alpha to try and full contest this.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of their final chances right now. The lanes are not pushed up too heavily, so they're still able to walk up to maybe contest. But you can see the sniping, the poking coming in. Luke is positioned to maybe get a gank into the backline. If he can burst down Fabian, it would be huge, but the split comes out. Diversion into the top lane as Widdy with the conceal looks for a target. Eman going to be able to dash away. Meanwhile, Luke gonna commit onto Fabian. Thunderclap doing a lot of damage. He finishes him off. He trades himself for the jungler. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Yeskiel 1v 1v3, still surviving all of it as Aaron Shiki will now follow up. It's still a 1-for-1, but BIGETRON actually having the better trade.
Oh, we saw what TLID wanted to do. That could have been the game-winning MVP-making play by TLID, specifically Widdy with the conceal, and of course, coming off of the diversion all the way to the back, but they just could not find anyone. In the long run, it ended up becoming Fabian walking into the shrub where Luke was.
Yup, so far, Team Liquid has been trying to play aggressive, but they still have to respect that BIGETRON has a good amount of utility, and their lineup is just overall very tanky. But if they prolong the fight, they're able to force these resources out from BIGETRON, and Eman hasn't quite reached the point yet where he's an absolute monster on this Granger. So Team Liquid still in the driver's seat.
We see Moreno as a Valentina has the ultimate of the Cho. What they can do with a Wave of the Dragon in the hands of a Valentina, let's see. It's either going to be for peeling or miraculously a hell of a setup by a Cho cosplay.
Widdy providing vision, spots out Moreno in the bush. Team Liquid, they're setting up for a fight here. Fabian already being sent to clear the bottom wave, so BIGETRON actually has to send people back to make sure a backdoor doesn't happen. This will give an opening to Team Liquid to start securing the Lord quite handily. We can see Widdy still providing vision, still scouting out the back, trying to catch anyone out of position as the yin-yang reaction drops Supercan down to half HP. A health bar already gone on Luke. Thunderclap doing absolutely nothing as Luke is just blown up and the Lord is secured away by TLID.
They were so split up. The moment Fabian forced the reaction from BIGETRON Alpha to send Eman to the bottom lane, that made the Valentina go back. It was left in the Lord, it was Super Ken and Luke, and at that moment, they really shouldn't have just stood there anymore. They were outnumbered. They ended up giving the kill. At some point, someone in BIGETRON Alpha should have made the call, let's just give this up and let's not give any more kills.
We talked about how earlier Team Liquid is a team that loves these scrappy, chaotic team fights, but I think this is an example of the opposite. This is a very disciplined TLID. They are specifically controlling macro to not allow BIGETRON to fight together. And now the lanes are all synced up. They're looking for every inhibitor possible. Conceal play comes out, zoning out BIGETRON. Diversion even being used just to jump into the bottom. Yehezkiel bringing Aran with him. Lord, so tanky at this point, but Aaron Shiki is a 1v1 with Luke, and the Thunderclap doesn't even take him out. Unstoppable streak for the Harif. Meanwhile, Team Liquid is literally diving BIGETRON behind their crystal. It's actually costing them quite a lot here because they're taking so much damage from the tower. And BIGETRON is juggling all of them. They're so low, but TLID has overcommitted, so the crystal will still stand.
BIGETRON Alpha survives the fight. Well, maybe at least 2 more fights if ever it doesn't go way too bad for them. But TLID, a little bit too eager to end it there. This is an opening for BIGETRON Alpha. They don't need to manage minion waves at the bottom. Let's see if they can get a tower in the mid. But the low Yi should be able to clear it. But they're not even going to go past the second tower. Way too risky. They're just going to wait to see how deep BIGETRON Alpha will try to go to get macro in the map.
Yeah, BIGETRON should be able to get the tier 2 here, but going for the inhibitor is unlikely. But it is still a very big swing for BIGETRON. They previously had no control over the map at all. So this really shows you that even if you are very far ahead, you cannot afford to overestimate yourself. Because look at the goal difference, right? It's nothing now.
And now TLID, even though they no longer have their goal difference, they still have that huge tower lead. The control in the map, just as when we thought BIGETRON Alpha could get a little bit more, they did. They had to go back to their side of the river to avoid getting punished by TLID, to avoid getting ambushed by a surprise diversion play, something that's always been in the back of the heads of BIGETRON Alpha. Conceal play, is anyone going to commit anything aggressive? They tried, but TLID backed off and respected it.
Good disengage, good spacing from Team Liquid. You can see they have experience at dealing with a Badang. They know exactly how far they need to be to avoid being caught by that wall. I think they understand. They threw away a lot of gold in that previous initiation to try and get the crystal down. They cannot afford to do that again because BIGETRON, their lineup is starting to actually scale up, right? They're losing a lot of the disadvantages they had early on since their cores actually have damage.
Now, with this Lord up, it's even in the gold, but the threat of all the minion waves and the towers not being there for BIGETRON Alpha, they have to be so careful knowing that they're up against a low E. They don't want to get backdoored here. And TLID aren't even letting BTR get close to the Lord. They're taking it without a problem.
Yeah, Aran's just on top of Superken. Doesn't even mind if he dies here, and he's not going to. Even forces a defensive heavy spin as Team Liquid takes the Lord with barely any congestion from BTR.
With everything that has happened, it goes back to the simple fact that the last pick glue just shuts down so much of what BIGETRON Alpha wants to do.
You could say that it is the glue that holds Team Liquid's comp together.
I like that. It holds Team Liquid ID, it makes BIGETRON Alpha fall apart.
Yeah, it puts them in a sticky situation instead, right? I think it's great. And that's why the Masha pick confused us so much, right? It's so early to show it and doesn't even work all that well, even if it's a comfort pick. Well, just as we were saying it, Luke blows up Fabian though. As Team Liquid still gonna continue. Zaman Force comes out, heavy spin used, Winter Crown used on Aaron, but he's pinned against the tower. Immortality gone, Lord on top of the crystal, but they've lost Harry. As BIGETRON still holding the defense, they've taken out the Lord. Liquid is punished once again. Moreno keeping them in place for Eman. Diversion comes out, they want to send them out, but the fist break knocks them out of the circle! And Aran is taken out. Punishment for their overconfidence.
It's not over yet. Yehizkill got away, but it was Aran who was completely knocked out of the circle of the ultimate of the low Yi. The fist break from Light coming in just in time. And again, it's Widdy and Yehizkill left. Looking at the items, it's a full defense build onto that Akai with a Winter Crown to boot. Not using the Immortality, would want to do the combination of heavy spin, pin someone down, then pop the Winter Crown, and you're good to go. While the Masha at full damage, we saw that chance for them to defend came off of the back of Luke finding Fabian and blowing him up.
We talked about how Team Liquid, they don't let anything get to their heads. No matter what happens in the Land of Dawn, they'll still proceed the game the same way they always have. And in a situation like this, where the jungler, one of their main sources of damage, was bursted before the fight even started, it didn't rattle them. But this is a case of it being a bad thing rather than a good thing. Because without the numbers, they actually cannot push into the base of BIGETRON. There needs to be more respect there.
Yeah, you saw that they tried to just throw bodies and hope that they could end it there. But at that point, with everyone so online, Light having the damage there, the damage from the Granger, the damage from the Valentina most importantly, it looks like it's easier said than done to end it if they aren't complete as 5. But despite all that, BIGETRON Alpha will just have to try and do that again. What happened earlier, they have to replicate it somehow or win an all-out team fight. But knowing Team Liquid ID, they know that the advantage is there. They have the macro. They will continue to press on that. That a full-on team fight is hard to see if you're BIGETRON Alpha.
Oh, speaking of a team fight though, BIGETRON trying to initiate split used on Aran and Superken.
Not like
heavy
that.
spin defensively. Zaman Force comes out. The Panda is able to escape. But that is an important ultimate. They're not going to have it, which means TLID should get the next Lord.
And if this next Lord goes in without a problem, that is the problem.
Can be pretty important here. But as we jump back into the game, Lord is taken by Team Liquid. Thunderclap committed, but Winter Crown gonna be able to keep Yehezkiel alive as the Way of the Dragon also disengages. So meanwhile, you can see Team Liquid still working on resetting the Lord. They don't have the position they want yet.
They're respecting the fact that Superken getting the Lord here could be really bad for them. But Team Liquid ID, again, very known for the post-objective team fights, the post-objective punish. If BIGETRON Alpha aren't careful with their positioning and their health bars, if after even they are able to take the Lord, they're low and TLID can fight, expect that TLID will fight.
TLID's positioning is really good here. You can see they're setting themselves up so they cut BIGETRON away from the Lord. And they're not even grouped together for Light or Superken to punish. So it's just so easy for them. But this has happened so many times now. It's the base push that they're having trouble with.
The base push for TLID and the fact that the glue is the one-man army of stopping BIGETRON Alpha. But at this point, this should be it, right? It looks like they can just throw bodies now and just focus on the base, right?
I think that's what they thought the last 2 times. I think you still gotta respect it somewhat. There's no towers left, but BIGETRON has burst. They have CC. Lord is now pushing in. They're gonna catch one. Heavy spin used. Winter Crown as well, but Witty is caught under the tower. Bursted instantly. Luke with the Thunderclap. Not gonna be able to find Air on Chicky this time, and now the Lord is on top of the Crystal. Team Liquid not throwing bodies this time. They're making sure to take out the players one by one, and that was the secret ingredient.